Haunted Love. In the heart of New Orleans, beneath the ancient moss-draped oaks and beneath the moonlight's gentle caress, a haunting love story unfolded that transcended time and mortality. The story began in the 19th century when a charming young musician named Victor fell deeply in love with a beautiful and enigmatic woman named Isabella. Isabella was a mysterious figure in the city, known for her ethereal beauty and her haunting presence. She was rumored to be a ghost, a vengeful spirit, or a timeless enchantress, depending on who you asked. Victor, however, was not deterred by these tales. His heart ached for her, and he believed in the power of love to defy all odds. One fateful night, as Victor played his hauntingly beautiful melodies at a dimly lit jazz club, Isabella appeared before him, her eyes like deep pools of midnight. She was dressed in a flowing gown that seemed to shimmer with a ghostly glow. Victor was captivated by her beauty and grace, and from that moment on, their love story began. Their love was a passionate whirlwind, with moonlit strolls along the Mississippi River and passionate serenades beneath the stars. But as their love grew, so did the rumors and whispers about Isabella. Victor's friends and family warned him that she was a dangerous phantom, but he refused to believe them. He knew in his heart that their love was real, even if Isabella's origins remained shrouded in mystery. As the years passed, Isabella's ethereal nature became more pronounced. She would disappear for days on end, only to return with tales of wandering through time and space. Victor, however, remained devoted, convinced that their love was worth any sacrifice. One stormy night, as the thunder roared and the rain poured down in torrents, Victor proposed to Isabella. He promised to love her for all eternity, no matter what secrets she held. She accepted, and their love was sealed with a kiss that bridged the gap between the living and the dead. But their happiness was short-lived. On a bitter winter's night, Isabella disappeared without a trace. Victor searched for her tirelessly, his music now infused with a haunting sadness that echoed through the city. He visited psychics and mediums, hoping to make contact with his lost love, but all in vain. Years turned into centuries, and Victor's music continued to play on, a melancholic tribute to a love that defied time and death. He became an old man, frail and gray, but he never gave up hope of reuniting with Isabella. Then, one night, as he played his final, mournful tune by the banks of the Mississippi, a ghostly figure emerged from the mist. It was Isabella, as beautiful as ever, but with an ageless wisdom in her eyes. She explained that she was bound to the spirit world, unable to remain in the mortal realm for long periods. Tears streamed down Victor's face as he held her in his arms, knowing that they could never truly be together in the way he had always dreamed. But their love was eternal, and in that moment, they made a promise to each other that transcended life and death. As the sun began to rise, Isabella faded away, leaving Victor with a bittersweet smile. He knew that their love would endure, even if they could only be together in the briefest of moments. And so, he continued to play his music, not as a lament for what was lost, but as a celebration of a love that defied all boundaries and haunted their hearts for all eternity. As the years passed, Victor's story became a legend in New Orleans. Locals and tourists alike would gather by the riverbank at dusk, hoping to catch a glimpse of the ghostly figure of Isabella and hear the haunting melodies played by the aged musician. Victor's music took on a new depth, a haunting beauty that resonated with the souls of those who listened. It was said that his music had the power to heal broken hearts and mend fractured spirits, and people traveled from far and wide to witness his nightly serenades. One evening, as Victor played a particularly soul-stirring melody, a young woman named Evelyn found herself drawn to the riverbank. She had heard the tales of Victor and Isabella's love and had always been intrigued by the idea of a love that transcended death. As the music filled the air, tears welled up in her eyes, and she felt an inexplicable connection to the old musician. Evelyn returned to the riverbank night after night, and over time, she struck up a conversation with Victor. He shared his love story with her, the joy, and the heartache of his eternal romance with Isabella. Evelyn, a kind and compassionate soul, was moved by his tale and longed to help him find happiness. Together, they began to research ancient rituals and spells that could bridge the gap between the living and the dead. They visited mystics and scholars, delving deep into the supernatural mysteries of New Orleans. Their quest led them to uncover forgotten incantations and mysterious relics that promised a chance at reuniting Victor and Isabella. One fateful night, under the light of a blood moon, Evelyn and Victor performed the ritual they had discovered. As the incantations echoed through the night, a portal to the spirit world began to shimmer before them. Victor's heart raced with anticipation, and Evelyn held her breath. And then, in a swirl of ethereal mist, Isabella emerged from the other side. She looked at Victor with eyes filled with longing and love, and for a moment, it was as if time itself had stopped. Victor reached out to her, and their fingers brushed against each other, a fleeting touch that sent shivers down their spines. But as quickly as she had appeared, Isabella began to fade away. The portal closed, leaving Victor and Evelyn standing by the riverbank, their hearts heavy with both joy and sorrow. They had come so close to reuniting the lovers, yet the eternal barrier that separated them remained. Evelyn held Victor's trembling hand, her eyes filled with determination. She knew that they couldn't give up, that their love was worth any sacrifice. With newfound purpose, they continued their quest to find a way to bridge the gap between the living and the dead, determined to bring Victor and Isabella together once and for all, even if it meant defying the very laws of the supernatural world. Their haunted love story had taken a new turn, one filled with hope, determination, and an unbreakable bond that would transcend the boundaries of life and death. As Evelyn and Victor delved deeper into their quest to reunite Victor with Isabella, they encountered ancient texts and whispered legends that hinted at a powerful ritual capable of temporarily bridging the divide between the living and the dead. It was a risky endeavor, fraught with uncertainty and danger, but they were driven by a love that knew no bounds. Months passed as they painstakingly gathered the necessary components and knowledge required for the ritual. The anticipation weighed heavily on them, for they knew that success was far from guaranteed. Yet, their determination grew stronger with each passing day, and they felt as if they were racing against time itself. One evening, under a starry New Orleans sky, Evelyn and Victor stood on the same riverbank where they had first met. The air was thick with tension as they lit candles, arranged sacred symbols, and began to chant the ancient incantations. The atmosphere became charged with a palpable energy as they called upon the spirits to grant them passage to the other side. Suddenly, the world around them shifted. Shadows danced, and the very air seemed to quiver with uncertainty. In the midst of this otherworldly transition, Evelyn felt a gentle touch on her shoulder. She turned to find Isabella's ghostly figure standing beside her. Her face bore a mixture of longing and apprehension. Evelyn's heart ached for Isabella as she realized that, for the first time in centuries, the ghostly woman could see Victor, who stood just a few feet away. Tears welled up in Isabella's eyes as she stretched out her hand, trembling, toward Victor, who mirrored her gesture. Their fingers touched, and a surge of emotions flowed through the three of them. Victor's eyes brimmed with tears as he whispered Isabella's name, and she uttered his with equal fervor. In that fleeting moment, they were reunited, the boundary between the living and the dead momentarily blurred. But as the ritual's energy waned, Isabella's form began to fade once more, her grip on Victor's hand weakening. Evelyn and Victor watched in anguish as she slipped away, her eyes locked with Victor's until the very end. Isabella's spectral form disappeared completely, leaving only the echoes of their love in the night air. Victor's shoulders sagged, and tears streamed down Evelyn's cheeks as they realized the price of their daring endeavor. They had glimpsed a love that defied death, but it was a love destined to be forever marked by the bittersweet separation between worlds. As they stood there, a girl cried for the boy who was dead, and the boy wept for the girl who was bound to the spirit world. Their haunted love story had taken yet another heartbreaking turn, leaving them with the undying hope that someday, somehow, they might find a way to bridge the gap between their worlds once and for all. In the wake of their heart-wrenching encounter with Isabella's fleeting presence, Victor and Evelyn were consumed by a deep sense of loss. The riverbank where they had hoped for a miracle now seemed haunted by their unfulfilled dreams. Evelyn was determined not to give up. She believed that if they could bring Isabella back once, they could do it again, and perhaps, they could find a way to make the connection more permanent. She spent hours researching and consulting experts in the arcane, determined to uncover the secrets of the spirit world. Victor, on the other hand, struggled to cope with the emotional toll of these failed attempts. His music, once a source of solace and inspiration, had taken on a melancholic quality that reflected his inner turmoil. His days were marked by a mournful symphony of notes that resonated with the pain of his unfulfilled love. Evelyn and Victor's relentless pursuit led them to a reclusive voodoo priestess named Marie Laveau, who was rumored to possess the knowledge they sought. She lived in a dilapidated mansion on the outskirts of the city, surrounded by a garden of eerie, phosphorescent flowers that only bloomed at night. Marie Laveau, a woman of wisdom and power, agreed to help them, but she issued a grave warning. The ritual they sought was a double-edged sword, capable of great wonders but also of unleashing unimaginable chaos. Undeterred, Evelyn and Victor accepted the risks, knowing that their love was worth every gamble. The night of the ritual arrived, and the trio gathered in the dimly lit garden. Candles flickered, casting eerie shadows on the walls, as Marie Laveau chanted incantations passed down through generations. The air grew thick with anticipation, and the veil between the living and the dead began to ripple. Isabella's ghostly form emerged once more, but this time, she appeared more substantial, her presence stronger and more vivid. Victor and Isabella reached out to each other, their hands trembling, their eyes locked in a deep and unbreakable connection. Evelyn watched in awe as the lovers shared whispered words, their voices filled with longing and love. It was a moment of pure magic, a testament to the power of love that could transcend even the boundaries of life and death. But the energy of the ritual began to wane, and Marie Laveau warned them of the impending danger. With tears in their eyes, Victor and Isabella reluctantly let go of each other's hands, knowing that they could not risk the chaos that might ensue. As Isabella's form slowly faded, she whispered to Victor that their love would always endure, no matter the realm in which they existed. With one final, passionate kiss, she vanished, leaving Victor with a sense of both heartache and hope. Evelyn and Victor returned to the riverbank, their hearts heavy with the weight of their unfulfilled love. But they were no longer haunted by uncertainty. They had touched the boundaries of the extraordinary, and they knew that love, even one that transcended death, was a force that could never truly be extinguished. And so, they continued to gather by the riverbank, night after night, playing music that celebrated their love, even as they awaited the next opportunity to bridge the gap between their worlds. Theirs was a love story that defied time, death, and the very fabric of reality itself, a love that would echo through the ages as a testament to the enduring power of the human heart. Years passed, and Evelyn and Victor's determination to reunite Isabella and Victor never wavered. They had become revered figures in New Orleans, known for their undying love and their relentless pursuit of the supernatural. The people of the city gathered at the riverbank, not only to hear Victor's haunting melodies but to witness the ongoing saga of their love. Evelyn continued her research, seeking out the most arcane and elusive sources of knowledge. She believed that there had to be a way to make the connection between the living and the dead more enduring, to break the cycle of fleeting encounters that tormented Victor and Isabella. One day, while poring over ancient texts in a dusty library, Evelyn stumbled upon a forgotten legend, a story of a powerful amulet known as the Eternal Heart. According to the legend, this amulet had the ability to bind a spirit to the mortal realm, allowing them to exist alongside the living. It was said to be hidden in a secret chamber deep beneath the city. Evelyn and Victor were not deterred by the danger that lay ahead. Armed with the knowledge of the amulet, they embarked on a perilous journey through hidden catacombs, long-forgotten tunnels, and treacherous underground passages, guided only by cryptic clues they had gathered. Their quest led them to an underground chamber illuminated by the soft glow of the Eternal Heart. It was a magnificent artifact, a gemstone that pulsed with a spectral light. But obtaining the amulet came at a price. It demanded a sacrifice of profound love and commitment. Victor, his eyes filled with determination, turned to Isabella and professed his love once more. He promised to be with her, no matter the cost. Isabella, her spectral form shimmering with emotion, embraced Victor, sealing their commitment to each other. As Victor touched the Eternal Heart, a surge of energy coursed through him, and he felt his own spirit melding with the amulet. The amulet's glow intensified, and Victor's form became translucent, like Isabella's. They were together, bound by the power of the eternal heart. Evelyn watched in awe and sadness as Victor and Isabella stood side by side, their love now anchored in the mortal realm. It was a moment of both triumph and heartache, for while they were finally united, it meant that Victor could no longer exist solely as a living man. Victor, now a spectral being like Isabella, looked at Evelyn with gratitude and whispered his thanks. With a final, lingering kiss, they vanished into the night, leaving behind only the glow of the eternal heart. Evelyn returned to the riverbank alone, her heart heavy but at peace. She knew that her love for Victor had helped bring him and Isabella together, and that their love would endure, even if it meant living in a different realm. And so, the riverbank continued to be a place of hauntingly beautiful music, a testament to love's ability to transcend all boundaries, and a reminder that even in the face of the supernatural, the power of love could conquer all. The legend of Victor, Isabella, and Evelyn became a timeless tale, passed down through generations in the enchanting city of New Orleans, where love was celebrated in all its haunting beauty. Hello, wonderful viewers. Thanks for joining us today. Before we get started, I want to ask you for a quick favor. Firstly, thank you for watching this video. We appreciate your time and support. If you're enjoying what you see, please consider giving us a thumbs up by clicking the like button below. It really helps us out. If you think this content could be valuable or entertaining for others, don't hesitate to share it with your friends and family. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to our channel by hitting that subscribe button. This way, you'll stay updated with our latest videos. Lastly, click the notification bell icon so you never miss out on our upcoming content. We've got some exciting stuff in the pipeline, and we'd love to have you with us. Thank you once again for being part of our community and for your continued support. Let's jump into today's video.